split it?
Yeah, well, they can't form their own region because they got two counties in the middle that won't, Humboldt and, Wright wanna stay with CSS, but they're gonna be forced to do something different because the Saragordo goes to the south and Wright is gonna go to the south.
Because they want to go to Franklin
And
and
then,
But will Frank wouldn't take them? I didn't think they were interested.
at one point they weren't, but they maybe now, they have a different CEO.
I just saw it on the paper this morning, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, I got a phone call this morning right away related to that.
I think that speaks volumes of their old guy, whatever his name, Lincoln.
Yeah, I got it now.
It all worked out for him.
Yeah.
Maybe some drawing on my mail. Or phone.
We don't have to change passwords anymore, I don't think, so we don't have that problem.
Unless, are you on focused or non-focused? Did you look in both? Okay. Nothing in the other one? Really? Well, then you're not getting it, because,
Yeah, I get emails all the time.
No, I'm sorry, I just deleted.
oh,
Well, I suppose it's time. You say the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes in the agenda.
I'll second the motion.
Motion from Stenger and a second from Derby to approve the minutes and agenda. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Discussion with possible action regarding COVID-19 policies.
Good morning, guys. How are you this morning?
Morning.
Healthy anyway.
That's good. As you know, that we have uptick again in numbers due to more testing, but then the colleges and schools starting and things like that. I don't have really anything new except what's going on with that. I think we're over 200 numbers. I was peeking at them when I got on. We're at 206 this morning that have been tested. I think we have like 89 positive cases right now in the county.
Are you keep up with the positive cases? I mean, the, active and how?
Yep, we have to do, yep, we have to do the, we're helping the schools with the contact tracing and stuff like that. So yeah, we keep track of all those, yep.
I meant, didn't mean that, that's fine, that's good to know that, but, you track how it affects these ones that are positive, like, do they get really sick, are they just little symptoms?
Yep, we have a list of questions we have to ask them, yep. I lied, we're at 210 now.
And is it affecting a lot of people adversely, or just minor health?
Just minor, right now.
Does that, I'm sorry,
Go ahead.
does that tell you anything? How serious this is? I mean,
Oh, I believe it's very serious for our elderly and the vulnerable.
right,
But you also have some that are, that are younger that have four or five of the symptoms, so I just think it affects everyone differently.
yeah, I know that. I mean, just because we test positive, I guess I'm trying to wrap my mind around policy here. Just because they test positive, with the exception of like the elderly, like you say, is it such a I'm lacking the word. Is it as serious as we should be taking it? I mean, yeah, you don't wanna get it, but if you get it, it's just minor, it's no different than flu. Are we looking at the wrong figures?
Well, from what I've heard, is when they do a test, that they amplify it so many times that if you've had it and gotten over it, you will test positive for it because there's still residue of the DNA of the virus in your body.
Yep, that's why they're not recommending now to get, if you've had it, because they don't know if you're gonna get it again. That's why they're recommending not going, you know how some employers want you to get a negative test. They're saying not to do that because of that reason, because you still have the sloughing of the virus.
And other people have been exposed to it and have it at such a low level in their body that it would never affect them, and they're testing positive.
I get, maybe this could ask it this way. How come we don't look at the death rate? How come we're just looking strictly at those who get it?
I think they're looking at the death rate.
Yeah, but you never hear the death figure in the news and really how it's truly affecting the general population.
The death rate is way down, even among
Right,
the normal.
Yeah.
I'm just looking, we have 10 in Winnebago County right now that have passed from COVID. So you can go on the Iowa COVID site, and it has the death rate there, and I'm trying to find the number here to tell you what it is.
Yeah, and then they've got it in the.
Because they have it all linked out, like who had pre-existing conditions, whose conditions were, you know, that they didn't get answered if it was unknown. And like for pre-existing conditions, as of today, it was at 69% of the people that have passed had pre-existing conditions. And if I'm not mistaken, I thought it had, let me think. No, I don't see it on here.
Okay.
So yeah, over here, we're, for public health right now, we are starting our flu vaccines as of starting Monday. But right now, we only have the vaccine for 65 and older, and we are taking only by appointments. So they have to call with an appointment, so I don't have 10 people standing in my entryway. I just can't have people standing in there. So, well, we are starting that, so. Anything else?
Doesn't seem like there's anything that warrants any changes for our policies then.
No, I don't think not at this time. Just, you know, we still have to make sure everybody monitors themselves, you know, when they come to work. And, you know, what we're having now is like if you're a third person contact, there's no guidance for that. So like that, say Terry, say you're positive and Mike was in contact with you, but Bill was only in contact with Mike. Bill would just have to monitor himself. Mike would have to isolate himself for 14 days, and you have to, you know, do your spill until you're over the symptoms or 10 days. Does that make sense?
You want to define contact again?
That's a direct contact if you were with that person less than 6 feet away and more than 15 minutes.
All right. Okay.
All righty?
Thank you.
All right. Conference locked.
Did he come back? He left.
You have reached Scott Minders, County Engineer. Please leave a message and I'll get back.
When you dialed that, it did something to the conference, so,
Oh, really?
yeah.
Well, actually, it seems like it dropped when she left. I heard
Oh,
something
really?
different that,
Either that or maybe nobody else is on the call.
Let's see.
I'm still here. I can hear you.
Okay,
I guess we're still on.
Conference unlocked.
there we go.
Oh,
When you call people, lift up the receiver because when it dials, it hears it and uses those numbers.
Oh, it's using the beeps?
Yes.
Wow.
Well,
That's great. Alexa.
Going.
he just sent me a message.
Oh.
Good morning, I'm stuck at the asphalt plant today and can't make it to the meeting. Our crew is working on E21W Bridge setting box Tuesday next week. Spot loading rock and wiring paving today on Mill Road South and then east past Cemetery. They're working over by Buffalo Center. Okay, well.
Mike, have you been out to Rice Lake to see what's been done out there so far?
It's,
I was out there on Saturday and it looked like they had cut some trees.
they cut some, but
I don't know.
I'm never gonna say it. The people that have been talking to me that live out there, they said that it wasn't cut back far enough. And
Well, and it may be for now, he's just trying to mitigate
yeah.
the worst of it.
I kind of felt the same. It's not,
That would be a good winter job in a sense.
yeah, I mean,
Brush
it just,
back.
And I don't know if he hasn't met with them yet, because I think it's gonna have to be almost a conference between them and him to decide what's gotta be done.
yeah.
And
He volunteered, he says, I got 4 guys that'll go out there and cut it back. And, I don't know why we wouldn't let him do that, that would free up the county from having to do it.
Mhm.
but it's their land, so why wouldn't they?
They didn't want to infringe on the easement.
Is there an easement?
Well, I'm sure there's gotta be.
I think that was the
Yeah,
question.
that was one of the,
That's a county road until.
So nothing's ever been recorded.
No, as far as DNR, Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. So the county, I'm sure the county's got the 60-foot easement.
maybe the county just cut what they figured the easement should be.
Good.
And then after that, it's their own responsibility, which makes sense. Anything else for secondary roads?
Will you forward that text to me so that I can put that in the minutes?
I think I am technologically advanced. think it's gonna send all three at once.
Okay.
Okay, consider for approval public purpose resolution for retirement expense.
Well, since Scott isn't here, we don't have, the next two aren't here, so.
Okay,
Does it have to be acted on soon, or?
Guess I better get some payroll to you, huh?
sure.
Hey Becky, do you know if he has that public purpose resolution and utility permit handy?
I will go look on his desk again.
Okay, thanks.
I forgot about that. I'll check.
Okay, then we'll move on to number 6, auditor's office will discuss drainage matters. Yeah, you're right, I forgot.
This is the,
Chris, we're ready for you.
You can just say, you don't have to keep it. No, and it's wasting time.
Not hang it up this time?
Hmm?
I picked it up and dialed it, so is it still on?
yes, thank you.
Didn't lock.
Oh, okay. Morning.
Good morning.
Morning, Chris.
Good morning. I don't have anything that's not on.
Nothing for, it's not on the agenda. Anybody else?
But I should have called Kelsey earlier. I'm not sure if this should go to closed. It pertains to 11,
Okay. DD 11 or 18 lot 11?
18, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Okay.
Did you get a call from Doug Harmon?
No.
No? Said he was gonna call all of us.
Again,
I just,
he tried calling a couple weeks ago,
Oh, no, this was,
before the last
yeah,
meeting.
this was this week.
I'm gonna head up there just a little bit. They're gonna be digging those holes this morning.
Yeah.
I just got a text message from Jason at Jacobson Westergaard.
According to someone, he was in contact with the other party and trying to, you know what, let's just drop it. I'll talk to you after the meeting.
Okay. Okay.
I think it should go to close, because I think there's gonna be maybe some litigation.
Okay, anybody else for drainage in general?
Rick, are you on the phone?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
I can just let you know, we've been working back and forth with Larson on those DD1 repairs, and there was some kind of problem with the email exchanges with Larson and Derek, so they just got our information recently. They're hoping to get us an estimate for the first repair yet today. We'll see what we get.
Did you ever see on the lower end of DD1 what I was talking about?
I didn't go by there, but I know right what you're talking about now after you explained it to me last time.
Yeah. I don't know if it's something that, if we need a surface pipe in there, or if we need, or if it needs to be, sloped back like these others, or what the deal's gonna be.
Yeah, I'll take a look. I haven't been that way for a while. Next trip over, I'll get eyes on that myself.
I also had a request from Mr. Shutter that in that area of the ditch, that there's 30 feet on his side, not on the hog site, but to the east of the hog site, the 30 feet on the north side of the ditch. He says that's going to be non-farmable and it can't go into a program, only being 30 feet. He wants the district to just purchase that from him. So I said, well, I'll bring it up.
It's something to talk about further. I have not I know where he's talking about exactly, but I have not laid eyes on that again either for a
But
while.
I guess he said since a bull ditch got put in from the wetland to the ditch, he can't access it properly.
Well, maybe we just take care of the access,
Just
because I don't think
pipe?
that'd take a real large pipe,
No.
take care of that. That's why I'd sure like to look at it.
Yeah, take a look at that and see if it can easily have a pipe go in it, then he can just drive back and forth.
Sure.
He's got a 60-foot planter, I don't know what he's gonna do with it.
Right.
Concrete material.
Hey, Rick,
Yeah,
what is, in CMP, concrete blank pipe, what's the M stand for?
CMP is corrugated metal pipe.
Corrugated, okay.
And the RCP is reinforced concrete pipe.
Yep, I knew that one, but
Okay, sure, you bet.
On DD 11, do they have the pipe out there for the rest of it?
I don't think they've got all of it yet, but the pipe company said they're gonna stay ahead of him.
Okay. I hadn't, it looked like they had already put in everything they had.
Well, he was concerned about it, but he's got a direct phone number for, the person scheduling delivery and feels better about it than he used to.
Well, I didn't.
Jeremy's gonna be out on that digging on lat 11 today too, so he can see what's going on.
All right.
And our only concern really on that is if Doug can dig deep enough to get to where our flow line has to be. He thought he could. We'll know yet this morning.
Okay. Well, that's all I had for
that's all I have to do.
Okay, then number 7, consider for approval pay estimate number 3 to B&B Farm Drainage for DD 11 main tile.
Did you guys?
It's mostly payment for tile outlet repairs, surface drains, and then they got in like 15 or 1600 feet of the 54-inch pipe for this estimate. They've got a little more than that in, but this estimate covers that 1500 feet.
Well, I didn't see anything on there I had concerns for.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to approve the pay estimate.
Second?
Motion Derby and second from Stenzer to approve the pay estimate number 3 to B&B Farm Drainage for DD 11 main tile. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, and we'll move on to number 8, discussion with possible action, policy for drainage district wetland mitigation payments.
Rick, do you have any comments from other counties you work with?
Yes, foremost active counties as far as improvements would be Winnebago, Dickinson, Palo Alto, and Humboldt that we work in. And Dickinson, Palo Alto, and Humboldt have all been paying, having the district pay 50% of the wetland mitigation costs, because the reasoning, I believe, is because by doing that, we're able to get in a complete project, and it benefits the district, not just the landowner. So we work in other counties, but they do so few improvements, I don't have much record from them.
Do you know of any counties that the district or the landowners pay all of it?
No, nothing we've worked on,
And I haven't heard of any either.
yeah.
I think it should be a very loose policy myself. I think it should be left up to the farmers or the landowners, as how they want to pay it. There could be a project where, in reality, it benefits basically just the one that wants the project. And he might be willing to pay more than 50% to get that project done. And the other farmers don't want to do it because, you know, So, I don't, that's just a superficial, way of looking at it, I guess, but, and I don't know how you put that in policy.
Right.
Well, the policy would be that it would change for every different situation.
And then we don't need a policy, but I just don't wanna have something where you do it this way this time, and next time you do it different, and a landowner gets mad because that's not the way it was done before.
Well,
So,
every situation is different, I think.
I know, I agree, but I just wanted to
I
be
don't,
that go-between between the landowner and you guys. It's,
I
I
think,
don't care.
I think, I'd like to, when we make a decision, I would like to have it reflected in the minutes, how we came to that decision.
Oh, sure.
So in the future, when we look back and we have to do this decision again, we review what we said on why we think. And it may not be the same case the next time. So it may reflect on policy going forward, but it's not the end all. It may be a whole different board by the time it comes around again.
right.
So,
Yeah, this is the first time I've done it since I've been here almost 11 years. So I can't say one way or the other how I think it should be.
It's probably one of those situations where no matter what you do, there's gonna be somebody, I don't, maybe not.
Right.
At this point, I guess I've always leaned towards the 50-50, where the district pays half and the landowners pay half. But, I guess I got a question, like with the Leeds, Emerson and Julie Lead, their letter that they sent on working with the NRCS and the complications and everything with that is, I just wonder, will a 50-50 decision reflect on what they decide to do?
I don't know. I haven't
Still a
personally
lot of
talked to
money.
the
It's
leads.
still a lot of money for them.
Yep.
I mean, we're looking at, I don't know if it's, the number you gave me way back when might have changed.
It's still that $300 and some thousand between the two parcels.
See, to me, that's astronomical,
$323,000 for 160 acres.
Yeah,
Right.
for
But
something that's
if
gonna
it,
benefit everybody.
right,
Yeah.
but if they do the pipe, okay, Rick, maybe I'm not explaining this right, but if they do the pipe right, he doesn't have to mitigate it, and yet he's still not farming it?
Yeah, as long as he's not raising a crop on it, he's not in violation.
So we don't
But-
have to mitigate it?
Right. So that's still a little bit up in the air as last time I talked to him.
Mm-hmm.
But if they go through, and one thing we've agreed to do is seal the pipe joints through the wetland. That will help his situation too, as far as how much he actually ends up needing to mitigate.
Right.
I believe we'll have to get more information from NRCS yet to know for sure on how they're gonna handle his.
And is that anything you can do, or is that Mr. Lead has to take care of that?
He has to take care of that.
Okay.
We will gladly be involved in providing any information, and hopefully that is helpful. For example, the sealing the pipe joints. To assure NRCS that's happening, it's in the bid, we have it in the plans. It's called for, it will be done. So we'll be involved in that way, providing that information.
Are we getting anywhere close to that land yet with laying the pipe, or no?
Not yet.
Okay.
No, but it's not a lot of space. We're gonna seal the pipe joints no matter what at this point. The main pipe doesn't pick up a lot of water anyway, so they'd have to put in some laterals if they're gonna end up draining and farming that wetland.
And that's something, so I know in his notes, he said that if he in the future wanted to mitigate, when they have more acres available in the next couple of years, he would then end up paying all of that to mitigate it so he could farm this land, correct?
Yeah, if this project is over and done,
Yeah,
finalized out, yes, I believe that'd be the case.
yes, okay.
So there's not land available for,
Not right now, no. And,
Tell us very close to having more.
yeah, both entities are like a year or two out.
but yet, I was trying to understand the letter that he sent. It made it sound like, to me, let's see, have a 16 to 30 month backlog.
Mm-hmm.
But he was talking about trying to get into the bank system also, wasn't he, to try and turn this into mitigation bank?
Yeah, it's
Right,
part of
but
what
that's
he's
a couple
working
years
on.
out. Yeah. So whatever he does in the future is just him on his own doing it.
Right.
If they create a mitigation bank up there, you know, it might be something that the NRCS wants or the mitigation bank people.
This probably was asked, but I can't remember. When this project started,
He didn't own it.
no, but how is it possible that a project can be put in place and affect a farmer like that?
Well, it comes down to, when you can get landowners to request those determinations. And some of them are hesitant when they don't know if the project is going or not. And that happens quite a bit. This is the typical procedure, for these. And people will generally know if they have a wetland situation to deal with or not. But they don't know officially until they get the determination done.
And this project couldn't be stopped. So even if everybody would have had their determinations in and whatever,
Right, yeah. I was just-
there wasn't a choice.
So this particular situation, yeah,
Nothing could have helped it.
And the compounded problem of the sale of the land was in
Yeah.
the process of when I mean, he probably closed on the land about the time they were supposed to be doing the wetland determinations.
That's about right.
And there wasn't a lot of clear information given at the auctions.
now, in this particular situation, probably what should have been done, well, not probably, I'll just say, that's why I don't think a straight up policy is gonna work, because, this puts greatly undue burden upon that land, in my opinion. So I would have voted for the drainage district to have to pick all that up, since they couldn't stop it, so.
Oh, right, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. So we can leave it as is, there's no policy. We'll just do as we go, but you do have to think about what you want to do for this project, because this will be coming up here pretty soon.
I was looking at your spreadsheet here. Oh, I see. I was trying to understand the 100% district category.
Right.
It does, I wish it would have broke it down into, if you take that 502,000, 503,000 and broke it out into all the landowners.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah, I didn't do any of that because
we don't know what the
that'll
exact
take a little
numbers
bit.
are gonna be,
Yeah.
But,
Plus, we didn't know for sure figures either.
Yeah.
You know, when I first started,
what
so.
was there, 1,100 acres or so?
Rick, do you remember how many acres need to be
Oh,
mitigated?
no, I sure don't.
Yeah.
Oh, no, the acres? Oh, there's not that many acres.
No, it doesn't have that many, I don't think.
20, 30, 33 acres maybe altogether.
Yeah.
But, I mean, the whole project was what, 2,000 some acres or what?
I don't remember.
The watershed area?
Yeah,
I don't remember either.
I probably have it here. Well,
I'll be away from the phone about 30 seconds here.
yeah, I'll look it up. I got it here.
Okay.
I just looked at it this morning. Well, I'm just thinking that if it got spread out among the whole district, you know, one person's gonna pay probably at least half. And, but he's the one that wanted the project to move forward. He had some mitigation on his, but it was only about a small percentage. So,
And even if a person, you know, decided to, they're taking it out of the program and they're going to farm it, they're still gonna have to tile. So even if they pay to have it mitigated, they still have to pay to get it up to farming it.
Correct.
okay, so I'm trying, if we move forward with, say it was just 100% district cost.
Mhm.
And we pay for the mitigation, but no land is available to mitigate with, how does that work?
Don't we have enough for this project?
I was told they did.
Yeah.
I'll have to check with them again.
Yeah.
Okay. So it would be mitigated right away then?
That's probably,
Yes, that would be the intent on this one.
that should probably, if that when it comes up again, that should probably be the number one thing that is brought to the farmer's attention, in my opinion.
And we usually make a statement that there will be wetland determinations. And we'll need those because if we don't have them and go forward, then a farmer can be penalized severely.
That's one thing, when you go to look at an improvement project or even a repair project, if somebody's fighting a repair project and they don't want to fix something right, it's a number you can look at, well, it's gonna cost you on the road probably if you have to really do it right.
And I think.
Well, the good thing about repairs is that they rule that has no effect as far as wetland.
But
You can restore it, even if it means, like if a tile is collapsed, you can go in and put in a new tile and that's still considered a repair and won't affect the wetland situation.
well, what I'm saying is, this land, this district was neglected for so many years because it
Oh, yeah.
wasn't worth replacing what they had. And it reflected on the last 7 years of determination for the wetlands. And it cost a lot of money.
Yeah, they're supposed to take into account if the tile were working properly, even though they're undersized. So there'll still be wetlands, but it's not supposed to be exaggerated because the tile has been broken down.
And that goes back to that point I made a while back, but I don't like their timelines for appeal.
Yeah. Good point.
I wish the district trustees were involved in that wetland determination, because
Yeah.
I don't think these people knew that they could appeal.
And I think going forward, we'll know better what to do next time in a timely manner. Before we get going on any plans, we need to get that determination first and keep on the landowners who don't have them in.
Yeah.
If this is a cost to the district, we should be heavily involved in that determination.
And also the determination is there, and if they know that they're gonna have to pay for some of it in the district, it may change some minds of whether the project goes forward or not.
That too.
That's possible.
But you
Right.
can't do that,
Yeah.
But they-
because they make you go forward with the project before you do the determination.
Yeah.
This time they did, yeah.
Well, another big thing too is that, my brother and I bought a farm, and, there was about 15 acres of wetland. Well, a little under 1 acre was right in the middle of the field, and it didn't make any sense. Water never stood there, but it was, it was damp. That was.
Yeah.
That was determined a wetland, less than 1 acre, and,
So then you couldn't farm it.
good farming.
Wow.
Yeah, it's not good.
We appealed and we did win, so, but it took 3 years.
cause we didn't even know, you know, all the determinations had been done and they were already done for appeal.
It's, you know, it's, you can't have the, you know what the project's gonna be, and then you should be able to mitigate it at that point before you even start it.
Well, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but can't a landowner do wetland determinations ahead of time?
They can, based on proposed improvements, you know, and then it's a matter of whether the project goes forward or not.
Well, they should
Whether-
already know. I mean, my brother and I now, where the wetlands is on our farm,
Yep,
so they already should know, whether it's.
they should have a good idea. They won't know
Yeah.
for sure how the determination will come out as far
Well,
as acres.
They redetermine wetlands?
Oh, yeah,
Oh, I didn't know
they
that.
have a new determination done.
See, that's the trouble, if you wanna do a project, you wanna get it done, and then if they're gonna drag out the appeal for 3 years, you know,
So if they're doing a wetland determination before you start a project, they're determining on existing drainage, right?
Yeah, and they are supposed to assume that the tile is in working condition, even if it's broken down completely. They're supposed to assume it's in working condition. That's why it takes a while to get some of this figured out.
I'm confused. I'm just using mine as an example. It's already been determined what's wetland. If they want to, they can come in and redetermine that?
Yes, you can request that. Now, it usually doesn't change because it's a wetland whether you're doing a project or not. But there are cases where it changes. For example, we've had them before where people have appealed because the tile was broken and they didn't feel that they took that into account. That's a winnable appeal. But the landowners have to be really familiar with their land in those cases. And they usually are.
Yeah, they are.
And I suppose they can go back, you know, to the district and get information on repairs that have been done. And if it was, you know, in the first 4 to 5 years that it was wet and they were going off of that, and you can show, well, we got it repaired and now it's better.
There you go. See, that's a good example of where it could change.
And
So when,
is that done through the NRC, I get that.
Yep, you're right.
yeah, that one.
But
That one.
that's who made up the, I don't know, policy, rule, law?
Yeah, I believe you make your application to FSA and NRCS does the determination.
This
I
isn't,
get that confused. It's one way or the other.
this isn't DNR legislature.
Nope, FSA and, yeah, NRCS. Between those two agencies, they do this process.
but when we ask for a wetland determination, we're not asking for a new one, are we? Can they just give?
Typically, no. I can't remember what year it is, but after a certain year, if you've had the determination done, you can use it.
Gotcha, okay.
It's
Because I've
back-
noticed that some that have come in are not old, but they're a little bit older.
But if,
Right, yeah, we get some of those. We get
If
some
it
that are
was not
several
a-
years old, and those are acceptable.
Gotcha.
but if it's not a favorable one, you're probably better off doing another one, then you can appeal it.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yes, well
Oh, I
put.
agree. I just wondered how long you could accept one you already have.
Because it's not costing the landowners for anything for that,
Nope, no charge for the determination.
just whether you have any lawyer fees involved.
I shouldn't even say what year it goes back to, but it's quite a few years.
Is NRCS structured like the DNR? Do they have a state, like director and then,
Yes,
okay.
I don't remember the title, but yes.
Well, they're under USDA, aren't they?
Well, yeah, you're correct. That is correct. It's not actually DNR, but they're structured
They're
so
federal.
they have
employees.
offices.
So is it at the state level they determine a wetland, or is it through the USDA?
USDA locally, either FSA or NRCS
I
does
think
the
it's
actual
a district
determination.
office that does it.
There you go. There's been such a shuffle on those offices now too, it's hard to keep track of who's where.
Okay. I have no question.
I'd call it local.
Well, what's your feelings on the different choices we have?
Like I said, I think it's astronomical and really not, I don't wanna use the word fair, but to put that kind of burden on a landowner, wow. I mean, think if it was yourself, and a guy wanted a project tile and was gonna help his land tremendously, and then you're gonna pay, even if he has to pay half of it, $150,000.
What kind of reaction are you gonna get out of the rest of them, though, when they have to pick up at least part of it?
Well, half the bill is the one guy that's been pushing it.
No,
so
yeah,
He
yeah.
knew there was gonna be mitigation.
See, in this situation, I think it should be more than 50-50. But if they've all talked about it, you know,
It would be nice if the landowners could get together and make a decision on their own, without
Yes.
us pushing something towards them.
right.
But how are we gonna
But I
make
don't know how
that
you do that.
decision with their input? Are you going off of weighted opinion, or are you going off of individual opinion?
Yeah,
Just
well,
like
no, yeah.
last time.
And what?
You're gonna have to have a
You
weighted.
got, okay,
The land.
I'm representing half the acres.
Yeah,
Do you take that as half the opinion?
Yeah,
You know, it's,
This is a place in drainage where it's not black and white, makes it tough.
so I kind of feel like this decision is similar to the other decision we made, where we go with kind of the weighted decision, the people that have with the most acres in the decision.
yeah, and if the guy with over half of the land decides that he's fine with it, sounds like that would be the decision then.
But I'm kind of with
Or if
Mike
he's not
on,
fine with it.
my opinion was at least the 50-50. I'm okay with the district burdening the cost. It seems more fair that way.
Unless you're the guy that's,
But I suppose that's gonna be costing the roads too.
Get caught up on the conversation, I guess.
We're talking mitigation costs on that district. And I suppose it's gonna be split to the roads too.
Right.
We can't look at it that way, we're just looking at how it's gonna.
And, you know, the landowner's paying his half, plus he's paying into the other half. I mean, I don't know if you think about that, but,
Paying his assessment part and the direct part, yeah, that's kind of how
Yeah,
we
so
do it
his
too.
assessment went up but his other went down, so it's like
right.
either, so it almost seems like it'd be more fair if it was just,
is there any way you could do it, like you said, your way, how it benefits, how that project benefits the other farmers? Like, on the one that owns half, it's gonna affect him and help him much more than the leads. And the land right next to, they have, well, Thompson's, let's say. He's gonna get a pretty good benefit out of it too. Is there any way of weighting that they pay the percentage of increase in benefit?
well, these assessments, Rick, are all, on benefit, aren't they?
Well, the mitigation part is strictly on, how many acres they have of farmed wetlands.
But if we go to 100% district cost, and she goes to bill it out, levy it,
it would have to be split up.
it's split up.
Oh, it's
With
based
your
on your
formula,
parcel's
yeah.
benefit.
Yeah,
Then it's split by benefit, yeah.
just the way we normally do it.
Yeah, so that does reflect better, I think.
So you're leaning towards 100% district cost?
Yeah,
And we don't have it on,
do.
oh, we do have it on here with
Those
possible.
farmers are farming those acres already.
well, I
No,
was trying to.
well, on Thompson's, he's had, what, it's been forever.
Not in a program anyway. They're
Right.
It's been forever in grass.
Well,
How many
and then the
acres?
Sundays have had problems still
Yeah.
this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the leads of that farm has been basically unfarmable even though it was tiled. It just wasn't in good repair.
Oh, okay, well, that sheds a little different.
But his had more acres of wetland versus the rest of them.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that the Sundays didn't have more. They only had 0.2 acres on that whole half section.
Yeah, sometimes we get surprised on those.
Because it's constant, in the last 7 years, it's constantly been drowned out. But it was right on top of the tile, it was drowned out. So that must.
That must be a case where they figured that the tile was not working like it should, and they figured it based on if it was working properly.
Well, you know, this is your district, so,
Yeah.
I hate to say it, but your opinion counts a lot with me to what we want to do, so.
Well, I guess this is the part where I feel like it benefits the whole district in a weighted way, where the people that benefit the most are gonna get the most benefit out of it and should probably be paying their fair share. Some people have been burdened with costs that were out of their control. So I feel like 100% of the costs of the mitigation should go to the district. And so I'll make a motion to that
And I'll second that. That is,
on DD 11 mitigations.
It's probably the fairest.
I think so.
I mean, now you're not perfect here, of course, but it's probably the fairest. So, which, I mean, he will still pay his percentage of the mitigation,
Oh, yeah.
but,
but he is getting the benefit too, so.
yeah, no, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
He's,
Yeah.
so therefore, but to have it all is. Okay, on the motion from Derby and the second from Stensrud to, have the drainage district pay 100% of the wetland mitigation
On DD 11.
on DD 11. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
So go ahead and get out of this.
Well, you know, truthfully, if you were a good politician, you know, you're a poor guy that was gonna get stuck with all that cost and have to vote for anybody. You should have stuck him with it.
We still want to find a way to encourage the people to appeal these mitigations. And we'll want to make that part of our discussion early on projects.
Yeah, and try and get ahead of the whole thing early on, like you say, yeah.
Yes.
Is there any way to possibly, if a landowner feels like they didn't know about some of the timelines, can they request another wetland determination?
I believe they have that right,
Then they'd have an appeal process.
yes.
That drags out our mitigation.
Yeah, and I
so-
believe, Mr. Lead, I don't believe there wasn't anything they could do from what they were told.
So I was just wondering if we change the project just enough to,
Oh, to have him do a new one, I see.
you know, if we just have some little crack to go through that says, well, we changed the project, we put buried pipe in certain areas, and it's just enough change in it where maybe he could request a wetland determination, or one person could. You don't want to have everybody have to go through that. But I'd just like to be able to play their game a little better.
Yeah. As long as it benefits the food of the world, we should be able to make the decision ourselves.
At least it's going more towards ethanol now.
Yeah. Yeah.
They denied those waivers to the small refineries now, so there's gonna be more ethanol being.
Yeah, that's a Good decision for Iowa.
2 months before election.
All right, anything else? DD 11. Then we will rotate back to Scott Miners, engineer, and we'll discuss secondary road matters.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning. I sent Bill an update because I thought I'd be stuck, and I was for a while at the plant today, at the asphalt plant, but
Where do they have the plant at?
the plant is at the BMC quarry in Fertile.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
all right,
They're able to get most of their materials there from the quarry, so I gotta be there in the mornings to get samples and make sure things you.
I hadn't seen one set up in Winnebago County anywhere around.
No.
So they're hauling it all that.
Yep, so to Buffalo, quite a haul, but for the other ones, not so bad.
Yeah, it's 40 some miles.
Yeah, so they're starting on the Mill Road headed south from 440th today. They'll get to the city limits and then start back up on 440th, work their way east and try to get to R20. I think that's where they'll finish up today.
Okay.
And then tomorrow they'll finish up 12th Street or Main Street back down to the city limits and then move to the next project, which should be A16. Start on A16 at R34 and work their way towards Scarville. So, and they'll be on that project for quite a few days.
See where the state must have made the contractor that did the interstate, they're doing it over.
Hmm.
They're resurfacing
Really?
Where's that?
from Lake Mills or from the state, no, not state line, from Lake Mills to, well, not even from Lake Mills, I think maybe Manly, down south. You know, the interstate was terrible after they did that.
Was that skim coating?
I think that's what they're doing now.
I thought that's what they did before, it was that thin.
No, they did the whole kibosh on last time, it turned out horrible.
How many years ago was that, or?
Well, that's only
Not that long ago.
2 years ago?
less than 10 for sure, less than 5.
Yeah,
2 or 3.
Yeah. Seems like I can remember the construction going on in recent history, so.
Yeah, I think it's in the last 3 years.
Yeah.
And they're redoing it.
Well, I never thought that skim coat between the interstate and Mason City was worth a darn.
Well, I think I found out that it was a microsurfacing, they call it, which is the small granite mixed with asphalt, and they just kind of like smear it on,
Yeah.
boil it down, I guess, and it's not meant to improve the ride, it's just intended to try to
Seal the
put a
road.
little candy coating right on it, something to kind of seal it up, make it hard, and make the asphalt last longer. I think they got pretty good life out of it, I heard, but.
Well, if that's all they're doing. That might be
If you think it's new and you think it should be smooth, then that product won't do that. So it's a little bit misleading.
There's a lot of people that will drive the left lane instead of the right lane because the right lane's pretty bad.
I see.
Anyway.
Yeah,
Who was the paving company that paved, up going west of Rake there? Is that A16 up there?
a few years ago, you mean?
Yeah,
Heartland did that project.
Heartland did that? And who's doing this one?
This one's Matt.
Yeah, okay, that's what I thought, Matthew. Heartland, that was still really nice.
Really is, yeah.
It is, I mean, they did a damn good job. And it's not all, and I'm hoping Matthews can do just as good a job, but, I have noticed over the years, driving that not all pavers are created equal. Some guys have got the science down or whatever it is.
Yeah, it's not just the company too, it's the guy on site running the
Yeah.
paver
Yeah.
and how good he is. Yeah.
Mhm.
And the roller.
Oh, yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
there's a lot of skill among all those
Yeah.
crew.
Yeah.
Um,
I was thinking it wasn't Matthew. I know it was Matt there out of Wisconsin or something.
Yep, on Alaska.
Does the cold base, you know, I've asked this before, but I gotta recommend it. Like on 38, I drove that this morning, and it's, of course, I had the big truck, but it's pretty rough.
Yeah, kind of rolly, and it's got some spots where
Does
it'll
that
shake
affect-
you.
Does that affect
It
the
shouldn't,
overlay?
because we have 2 layers of asphalt to put over it, so we should get most of it out the first lift, and then the final lift should be perfect. So,
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's hard to tell
I didn't know. if that
until
was-
they get,
that was- yeah.
after they put this intermediate on, which is the first lift, we'll drive it, full speed, see if we can feel anything. If there's anything you can actually feel really well with the pickup, probably something should be addressed, but
Yeah.
I wouldn't expect we'll have any issues like that. I'm sure you're not talking about like the bridges and the ends.
No,
Yeah.
no, no.
You gotta slow way down for those.
Yeah.
Or was it the one on A38 or by Leland? There's like a hole right in the middle by the bridge.
Hmm.
And I hit it just wrong.
The temporary millings maybe got worn out of there.
I mean, there's a hole.
There always was a hole there.
Right north of Linden and take,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Right by the bridge?
yeah, there was a hole there
Really?
last week.
Okay, because when they mill up to it, and then they'll put some of those millings back in,
But-
just to,
But it was like just a hole in the middle of the road.
how deep was it?
I don't know, I hit it pretty
That-
hard.
I believe the hole you're talking about has always been there, even when the pavement was breaking up before we started this, there was
Yep.
always a hole right there, if I remember right.
So maybe you should take a look at it.
Yeah, I will do that. Yeah, because we gotta try to get some of those things fixed if we're gonna, show up with a paver and kind of a lot of dinking around to fix up
That's
that.
when I went over it, I'm going, oh, it should almost be patched before the pavers come.
Yeah, if that's the case, we need to get
Yeah.
a plan for it right away, but
It'd be awful hard to get that Humpty Dumpty out of there with the paper.
I noticed the DOT was out pulling that trailer that senses the smoothness of the road.
profilograph.
Yeah, they were testing all their roads the other day.
Or wonder if that's a different machine for the kind of maintenance testing.
It was just a,
Little trivia here, the road that goes by like on a football field, that was rated the smoothest road in the state of Iowa.
The concrete part that they
No, it
redid,
was pavement.
let's see, the football field.
On the north side.
Hmm.
That was done quite a few years ago.
Said that one by Rick, it's gotta be about like that.
A lot of times it's just a matter of getting them nominated and,
Probably.
having the association recognize it.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, that's kind of all on paving. You got any more questions on that? Otherwise, our crew's working on E2W1 bridge. They're just on the northeast side of Buffalo Center. That's our last bridge of the year. They'll be set in the box next Tuesday. Then the rest of the crew spot loading rock and blading. And then, and the Rognus Brothers bridges, those three are all done. So we're making good progress.
so how many bridges do you have left?
Just the one that's under construction.
Okay.
So once they get that box in and backfilled, that's all this year's boxes, all three from Rognus and all
You guys done already, huh?
So do you have some projects for them this fall then, besides getting ready for winter, or?
We don't have any big construction projects, so it should be work orders and catching up on maintenance items. There'll be edge rutting, different things, take certain guys off of blading and fucking whatever. Yeah, pretty good finishing time for this year. We should have hopefully a couple months of weather to get tiles and culverts and different things fixed up. That's all I got.
All right, and we'll, move on to consider for approval utility permit to Align Energy from Doug Underground. What? Consider for approval public purpose resolution for retirement expense.
Here's duplicate copies of that resolution. Jay Knutson is retired effective October 1st. Then Jay Knutson from the Lake Mill Shop.
Yep.
He's been here 12 years full-time, and I guess he's been here about 35 years doing some fill-in work in the winter and stuff, so he's put a lot of time in here. Carla, did you have his?
Yes, we haven't hit open forum yet, so
Okay.
they haven't seen it yet.
Okay. So this is for a plaque for his retirement.
Make that motion.
I'll second the motion.
Motion Senator and second Derby to approve a public purpose resolution for retirement expense. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, then we'll move on to number 5, consider for approval utility permit to to Alliant Energy for minor underground electrical work in various locations.
The bulk of this is just, well, it's all just
Make a motion to approve.
service work, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll second it.
Mike, since maybe one of them's by Gordy Anderson there, and there's private tile that comes under the road, so I marked it for them so they know they've got to bore it beneath it in case for some reason he asks you about it.
Okay.
Junior.
Did, you made the motion?
Yes.
Motion from Center and a second from Derby to approve the utility permit to Alliant Energy for minor underground electrical work. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All right, we'll move on to open forum then.
This is where we find out that Jake was retired.
Here's just the standard form we have to fill out. Just takes a stamp, I guess.
Received, right?
Yeah, Carly, you just got one copy.
Yes.
Okay, can you give me a
A
copy
copy?
of that?
Yes.
And you'll take care of everything on the payroll end of it.
Yes.
So we gotta make this work here.
Who is that?
She's supposed to be a jailer.
Did you read?
Retired after first time jailer before being put to clearance.
I'm curious, reasons,
Yeah.
retire for the following reasons, semi-retire, what's that mean?
Well, he's gonna retire, but then he's gonna do other things, you know?
Oh, okay.
He's gonna drive semi?
Yeah, I just, he should've just wrote retired for the sake of what we care about, but
Yeah.
he'll be doing some other
And
things,
then
he
a few other things.
said.
Isn't he a farmer? Like,
I don't think he's been farming since
No?
a while back, but
Does he do trapping? Was he one of those that does trapping?
I don't know.
I can't remember, who was it that does trapping? Seemed like one of the road guys was a trapper.
Eric Knudsen maybe.
Eric was, okay. Brown Knudsen.
I was gonna say, I don't remember ever getting any.
You just see the tails and
Speaking of trapper, we had a beaver down by that first Rockness Brothers bridge that we should figure out.
okay.
It's just on a natural creek, so I just
Call,
Where's
thought maybe
How wide is it? How wide's the creek?
probably 25 feet where it is.
5 pounds of tanner, it would.
Yeah, there you
Big drink.
Well, I mean, Rockness Brothers took it out twice while they were there. We need somebody to trap the beavers.
Oh, yeah.
Tim Peterson.
He lives here.
Yeah.
I was gonna call Russ Bruins, who lives by Tatanka.
Pyro Pete guy.
Yeah, I just,
Either way.
okay.
Beaver trappers, Tim
Beaver-
Peterson and Todd Sorry?
Sorry.
Sorry?
Either way, are we to beaver season soon?
Should
I
be
don't know.
November, isn't it?
Yeah,
But if there's an emergency.
Yeah, I know, and I just
yeah.
gotta
I was
get
gonna
the,
say, for drainage purposes, you
Yeah.
can do it anytime. can't you?
But no, this one's not a reimbursable.
no, wouldn't have a bounty unless we paid it.
That's up to you.
So I'd rather find somebody who just wants to trap them.
Oh, yeah.
Just rather-
Larry Albertson does it too, for future.
Okay, you live up your way, or,
I don't know where it is. I guess Dad does it. Dad lives on
okay.
it.
I'll start with the one I know and then.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Now, if you're open forum,
Oh, I need you to sign both of these.
I'll make a motion for payroll claims to approve.
Second.
motion Derby, second Centro to approve the payroll claims, all in favor say aye.
Aye. Make a motion to approve the auditor's transfers.
I'll second it.
Motion from Stander, and second from Derby to approve the Auditor's transfers, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
We stand adjourned.